Have you ever felt like no matter how much you work, there's never quite enough left over at the end of the month? Like you're running on a treadmill, moving fast but going nowhere? That was exactly where I was not too long ago. Working long hours, hustling nonstop, but always just one unexpected bill away from stress. Until I made one decision that changed everything. I stopped chasing more hours and started building income that didn't need me to clock in. In the next few minutes, I'll break down exactly how I went from $0 to $50,000 in passive income in just 1 year. No gimmicks, no overnight miracles, just a strategic approach anyone can follow, even if you're starting from zero like I did. Let's be real, most people aren't financially free. According to the U.S. Federal Reserve, the median savings account balance in America is only $5,300. That means half the population has even less than that. And when it comes to retirement, a study from Vanguard found that the average 65-year-old has around $89,000 saved. That's barely enough to last a few years, let alone an entire retirement. So if you're wondering why people are stressed about money, that's why. But here's what clicked for me. The solution isn't always about earning more from a job. It's about earning differently, earning without trading time for money. That's what passive income is all about. And that's what I committed to building, step by step. I started with one simple goal: make $1 per day without working for it. That's it. Just $1. And that small goal completely shifted my thinking. Because passive income doesn't start big. It starts with systems. I had to learn how money could work for me, instead of me always working for money. So I broke my plan into 3 categories: digital products, dividend investing, and rental income. These weren't get-rich-quick schemes. They were long-term, scalable income streams that I could build once and continue to benefit from. Each one played a key role in getting me from $0 to $50,000 in just 12 months. Let's start with digital products. This was the fastest way I created my first stream of passive income. I had no money to invest, but I did have time and a laptop. So I started creating low-cost digital downloads, things like budgeting templates, printable planners, and mini ebooks about personal finance tips. I listed them on platforms like Etsy and Gumroad. At first, I made almost nothing, but with some effort in SEO and design, one of my budget planners took off. Within 3 months, I was making about $800 a month consistently, without doing anything after the initial upload. That added up to almost $10,000 in a year from just one product. Then came dividend investing. This was slower, but incredibly powerful over time. I started small, with just $50 a week into dividend-paying ETFs like VYM and SCHD. These aren't hype stocks. They're solid, stable funds that pay dividends regularly. I reinvested every penny, and by the end of the year, my portfolio was paying me about $150 per month. That's $1,800 a year for doing nothing but letting my money grow. According to data from Fidelity, investors who consistently reinvest dividends tend to outperform those who don't by a wide margin over time. So, I stayed consistent, even when the returns seemed small. The third income stream was the game changer: rental income. Now, I didn't have hundreds of thousands to buy property, but I learned about something called rental arbitrage. Basically, I rented a small apartment, furnished it affordably, and listed it on Airbnb. It sounds risky, but I did my homework, chose a location with high demand and strict local compliance. Within the first month, I covered rent and made a $600 profit. Within 6 months, I had 3 units doing the same. It wasn't totally passive at first. I had to set up systems, cleaners, auto messages, but by the 9th month, it was almost hands-off. That stream alone brought in over $30,000 in the year. Now, let's break down the numbers to see how it all added up. From digital products, I earned just under $10,000. From dividends, around $1,800. From Airbnb, a little over $30,000. And there were small contributions from affiliate links on my blog and YouTube, roughly $8,000 total. Combined, over $50,000 in income that didn't depend on my active labor. And here's the key. None of these streams started big. Most didn't even seem worth the effort in the first month. But they grew, compounding with time and consistency. Just like investing, building passive income is about planting seeds, not chasing short-term wins. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that you need a lot of money to start earning passively. But that's just not true. What you need is leverage. If you don't have financial capital, you need to use time, skills, or creativity as your capital. I started with time. I invested hours into learning platforms, designing products, writing content. But once those things were built, they kept working even when I didn't. That's the essence of passive income. Effort today that pays you tomorrow. And the sooner you start, the sooner the snowball effect begins. Now, let's talk about the mindset shift that made this possible. Most people are trained to think in terms of hourly wages. You work 1 hour, you get paid once. But wealthy people think in terms of assets. Assets pay you repeatedly. Whether it's a piece of content, a property, a portfolio, those things generate income even while you sleep. According to Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the middle class works for money, but the wealthy make money work for them. Once I internalized that idea, I started looking at everything differently. Every hour I spent building an asset was worth more than 10 hours working for someone else. If you're wondering how to get started, here's what I recommend. First, pick one area to focus on. Don't try to build 5 streams at once. If you like creating, start with digital products. If you have a little money to invest, start with dividend stocks. If you want faster cash flow and are willing to hustle, explore rental arbitrage. The key is consistency. Too many people try something for a week, don't see results, and quit. But the first few months are about momentum, not money. Stay with it long enough, and the money will follow. Second, track your progress. I had a simple spreadsheet where I recorded every dollar of passive income. Watching it grow, even slowly, was incredibly motivating. It turned abstract goals into something tangible. And when you see that first $100 come in without lifting a finger, it's addictive. It shows you what's possible. That spreadsheet became my scoreboard, and I checked it every week. Not because I was obsessed with money, but because it reminded me that my time was finally working for me. Third, reinvest. Every dollar of passive income I earned in the beginning was reinvested into more income-generating assets. I didn't spend it on lifestyle upgrades or new gadgets. I put it into stocks, new product designs, better Airbnb systems. That reinvestment cycle is how you go from $1,000 to $10,000 to $50,000. Passive income isn't about one-time gains. It's about building a machine that gets more powerful the longer it runs. And reinvestment is the fuel that powers that machine. So, what's next? For me, the goal now is $100,000 in passive income annually. But honestly, the number isn't the exciting part. It's the freedom, the ability to take a day off without worrying about bills, the option to pursue projects I care about, not just the ones that pay, the peace of knowing that my future isn't tied to a job or a boss or a paycheck. And if I can do it, starting from zero, you absolutely can too. The tools are out there. The information is free. The only thing missing is your decision to begin. Before we wrap up, here's one last thought. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. That's why this story isn't about luck or talent. It's about time. If you give yourself 12 months of focus, 12 months of consistent action, 12 months of building instead of consuming, you can completely transform your financial life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. If this video inspired you or gave you a clear next step, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm sharing everything I learn on this journey to financial independence so that you can build your own. And if you're already building your first passive income stream, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Remember, the earlier you start, the faster it grows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.